Hello, Harrison County Democrats. This is John ZODY, your State Democratic Party Chair. I want to thank you for allowing me to share a few words with you for your annual O'Bannon Gala. Certainly remember Frank O'Bannon as much as we can, somebody I worked for and we all remember as a great leader for our state. I want to thank you for everything you're doing in an ever-changing state, in an ever-changing pandemic, and everything that Democrats are doing on the ground to help get our candidates across the finish line. I want to give a shout out to Kent YEAGER, thank him for running for state representative, and all your candidates locally. Harrison County has seen a lot of changes over the years, and Adam and everybody else is doing a great job down there to keep things moving and to get energy in the party down in southern Indiana, down on the river, and our first capital. And so we really thank all the Harrison County Democrats for everything you do. We are just under 3 weeks before this election on November 3rd, and all across the state, Democratic candidates are working hard. They're talking to voters in whatever way they can to be healthy and safely socially distanced. And so we're doing the job. We are contacting voters in every district, in every county across the state. And that's what's going to get us across the finish line, up and down the ballot. It's really important. I'm a believer in rising tides lift all boats. So we need to elect Joe Biden, but we need to elect Kent YEAGER and all the candidates up and down the ballot for county council and commissioner all across the state. And so that's what we're doing here for the next 3 weeks. That's what you all have been doing for many months. I want to thank you for your dedication to the Indiana Democratic Party and your county party, and look forward to hopefully seeing you all in person soon when all of this is over. And I thank you for everything you do on behalf of the Indiana Democratic Party and the Harrison County Democrats. I have a great gala this week. It's great. It's a great idea that this is virtual, and I look forward to seeing you in person soon. Thanks a lot.
Hi, I'm Kent YEAGER, and I'm running for State Representative, House District 70, which is nearly all of Harrison County, everything except Blue River Township. It also, just for information, includes part of Floyd County and part of Clark County. So once we move on beyond that, most of you know I've been a Harrison County resident my entire life, although I did work based out of Indianapolis for 25 years. Had a chance to spend a lot of time both in the State House and in Washington, D.C., which I'm really thankful for. It gave me a lot of wonderful experiences and a chance to meet a lot of great people. The reason I'm running for state representative, I'll get to the real underpinning reason in a minute, but two issues to point out to begin with that I'm particularly interested in is public education first. I think we have not been supportive enough of public education over particularly last 10 to 20 years. I've really seen a decline in that in the state, and I think most people have observed that as well. We've got to get more serious about support for public education, and particularly in doing that, public educators is really what it boils down to. I think unless we attract the very best people to be public educators, our kids are going to suffer. In my case, my grandkids, but kids or grandkids, all those people who are in the education system are going to suffer down the road until we manage to seriously address that issue. Everybody talks about it, but it's one of those things that, it's just not important enough to deal with for a lot of the people, and particularly, I think, for the current legislators. We really see a hesitancy by them to do, I think, what needs to be done to make our education system the very best it can be. We want to send that message, the vital message to the future that we'll never see by having a well-educated public. Beyond that, I'm also especially interested in infrastructure issues. We used to think of infrastructure, especially as roads and bridges and that kind of thing, but those things are certainly not solved. There are a lot of issues that we need to deal with, but right now everybody's talking about broadband, and broadband is critically important. We've spent some money on broadband. The state has allocated some money for broadband, but not enough. We've got to make a real commitment to that. I think if it ever needed to be pointed out, certainly this pandemic has done it with the importance of broadband and demonstrating that's really critical for people to have broadband in their homes, for education, but also for business and just shopping and everything else that we depend on now. So we've got to deal with that, and I'd say I broaden it to telecommunications because I also think we've got to seriously deal with cell service. 15 years ago, a lot of us thought cell service would be really good. We'd have cell service everywhere by 2020, but unfortunately we don't. And nobody really talks about that anymore. And I think it's got to be a priority for us to get cell service every place. It's not only important just for being able to talk to people and for business, but it's important from a security standpoint as well. Now I get to the real underpinning issue of why I'm running, and that's just, in my view, as I started out, I've had a lot of experience in dealing with government at all levels. I've been able to be on the county council here. I've been involved in county government years ago. I've been involved in state government as an advocate, and as well as in Washington. We've got to restore civility to government. Just the lack of civility that we have in the last few years, it is preventing our government from working the way it's intended. People have to be able to get along, have to be able to discuss issues. There's always disagreement. We all know that. We'll always have that. There's always been a blurring of the lines between politics and government. But we've got to get back to really listening to people, to trying to understand what people are saying, and trying to address issues. Too often, these arguments that we have back and forth, everybody just closes off in an argument is what tends to happen, and we don't solve anything. I think healthcare is a good example at the national level, but there are many that we have not dealt with, and we've got to get back to that. If we want our kids and grandkids to have the same opportunities that we've had, we've got to take some of these steps to restore civility and really restore just conversation and common decency in government. Thank you.
If Republican attorney generals get their way, myself and many, many other Americans will lose their health care during a pandemic. If the Affordable Care Act is struck down, that would be tragic. We need an attorney general in Indiana who looks out for Hoosiers' health care and Hoosier values. That's why I'm proud to introduce our Democratic candidate for Attorney General, Jonathan WEINZAPFEL.
It has been an exciting yet tumultuous 6 months since I entered the race for Attorney General. Initially, I thought that this would simply be a campaign focusing on Curtis Hill's ethical transgressions and his efforts to take away your health care. In the past several months, it has become clear that it'll be much more than that. With the onset of the coronavirus pandemic and the tragic murder of George Floyd, this election has taken on a new dynamic. More than ever, Indiana needs an attorney general that can bring people together to solve the complicated problems facing our state. Someone who can lead. Throughout my professional career as a legislator, mayor of Evansville, chancellor at Ivy Tech, and lawyer, I've done just that. Whether it was helping my community recover from a deadly tornado, investing in a new arena to put people to work during the last recession, balancing budgets, creating unique training and educational programs to give people new skills and renewed hope. I have always worked in a bipartisan fashion to seek input, build consensus, and get things done. I promise to bring that same focus to the position of Attorney General. And we do have challenges that await us. With the pandemic, Hoosier families are worried about making ends meet. They're concerned about their jobs, the safety of a loved one in a nursing home, and the safety and education of their children during the upcoming school year. And some Hoosier families are worried about even allowing their children to leave their homes simply due to the color of their skin. As Hoosiers, we must move forward together. We must be better together. We must seek justice together. Our challenge and opportunity here today is to build a brighter and more inclusive future where all Hoosier families can succeed. It means that we have to protect the health care of Hoosiers by withdrawing Indiana from Curtis Hill's lawsuit seeking to overturn the Affordable Care Act. It means that we must ensure the safety of Hoosiers in the workplace and the nursing home. It means that we must refocus educational programs so that all young adults graduate from high school ready for college or the workplace. It means that we must reform our criminal justice system to ensure that we can protect Hoosiers, reduce the need to build more jails, and respect the humanity in each of us. It means that we must forge greater respect for the people working on the front lines in the battle against the coronavirus. Teachers, grocery store clerks, first responders, construction workers, nurses, truck drivers, and many others deserve our continued support. So let's begin the next phase of our campaign. The choice will be clear. Will we elect an Attorney General who will fight for all Hoosiers, or one who will simply follow his own narrow philosophical agenda? Will we elect an Attorney General who will work in a bipartisan fashion, or one who is simply another partisan politician? Will we elect an Attorney General who will protect our health care, or one who will seek to destroy it? Here is my promise to you. I will be the Attorney General who will stand up to protect your health care. I will be the Attorney General who will fight for safe workplaces and nursing homes. I will be the Attorney General that will work to create new job and educational opportunities. I will be the Attorney General that cares about women's rights and civil rights, not partisan fights. I have dedicated my life to making this a better world for everyone. I ask for your help in making sure that I can continue my public service as your next Attorney General.